All right, that's one. I don't have the compensation just yet, but I did have this just ready to go, man. Logan Wilson, former Cincinnati Bengal linebacker, is now a Dallas Cowboy. Now I know some of y'all about to be alarmed. You about to be like, well, Voch, isn't the Bengals defense just as bad as the Cowboys defense? You would be correct in that, but just like the Cowboys got a handful of people that's playing well on defense, that's a lie.
It's false.
Well, the Cowboys may have like one person that's like Donovan Ezra, who's playing well for the Cowboys on the Cowboys defense, right? Like Logan Wilson is like the one dude on Cincinnati, him, Trey Hendrickson, like one other character that's really like playing decent football on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, just to be clear, I know that it was a lot of people floating around the name of Quentin Williams, Jeffrey Simmons. I even heard some people talking about Myles Garrett and all that, Max Crosby. Logan Wilson ain't them. Okay, just wanted to keep it a buck with you. Logan Wilson isn't quite them, but I don't expect you to give up huge draft compensation for Logan Wilson. I feel like this was going to be the Joneses plan the whole time. I think the Joneses were going to be like, hey, man, we're open to trade any of those picks. And just because they said any of those picks, that don't damn mean that they're going to trade their first-round picks. I think they're going to sit on the first-round picks and move some of these little picks and, have an extra first. That's going to bolster the draft class in general. Take a look at Logan Wilson right here. That is not a Cowboy linebacker on the roster right now making this play. Overshown's been hurt, but when we talk about Cowboys right now, we talk about like Shamar, we talk about especially Kenneth Murray, and we're just kind of talking about Sanborn a little bit. I think there's been a resurgence of wanting Sanborn back a little bit, but we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. But Logan Wilson will indeed probably be one of the better players on your defense. It just kind of is what it is. What you get from him is a guy that kind of knows how to work those zones as like a coverage linebacker or whatnot. I wouldn't call him like a super coverage linebacker per se. Like he's not like a Fred Warner cat that you would just, I don't know, put Fred Warner on CD Lamb and let him run downfield with him or something like that. He ain't one of those guys in particular, but he is IQ guy, right? He is a guy that kind of diagnoses things in front of him. Is he the best athlete in the world? Hey man, if he's on this roster, I think this is a cool little game to kind of, identify Logan Wilson's athleticism. I think Logan Wilson is not more athletic than Demo. He's not more athletic than Kenneth Murray. He not more athletic than Shamar James, but he might be right up there with Leofau. I think he's moving better than Sanborn these days. Logan Wilson, 29, going on 30, so he's not a young man, but he's not quite an old character. But I don't think the athleticism is his game in the first place. I think like diagnosis and getting to the fight, like that's his big game right here. Take a look at him right here. Like just for example, this is what I mean. Logan Wilson may not be elite, but think about what you have. At the snap of the football, if Trevor Lawrence is facing this way, we all know Kenneth Murray going right there, ladies and gentlemen. We all know Kenneth Murray going that direction. But boom, you read the misdirection quickly. And we're just talking about reading keys right now. It's like the shoulders of like Lawrence, and there is a puller coming this direction or whatnot, right? So Logan is identifying here, and he sees Trevor's shoulders turning here. So it only makes a little bit of sense that Logan is going to decide to work in this direction, and that's what he does. And now he's kind of reading his gaps and going. So as far as the guy's going to come in here, play some zone for you, he could do that. He can be a linebacker that kind of drops back a little bit. He can be a solid cover dude for you. Jerry Jones wasn't lying. Logan Wilson does help you immediately. He's just not the superstar character that we all thought it was going to be. But like I said, and let me just add another layer of nuance and technicality when it comes to what I mean by better than this. When I say the Cowboys are like horrible, I think they should make more like numbers for the rankings. You know what I mean? You know how like they got quarterback rankings and there's only 32 starting quarterbacks, but they be like, hey, this quarterback is bad enough that he's the 36th out of, he's the 31st out of 36 like they just got some more quarterbacks to add to the party. I know it's only 32 defenses, right? But the Cowboys defense, and the Bengals for that matter, but the Cowboys defense are so bad, like there should be like 38 rankable defenses so that we can bump the Cowboys down into that range. Like the Cowboy, like the league should add like, college football teams defenses to like really let you know where the Cowboys are at. The Cowboys are deep down into 32nd. It's ridiculous. I still think that playing Logan Wilson day one gives you so much, even if it's something simple as a stop on early downs, like a guy got right there, as a stop on early downs, maybe like if you're going against a team that's fantastic in the run game, right? I think Logan Wilson is processy guy enough. He's not gonna, deal with blocks in a way that he's gonna open up some lane like right next to him or something like that. I think Logan Wilson like sounds defense up so much that it could bump you up a couple of spots. Not because he's so elite, but it's simply because you're just taking Kenny Murray off the field. Think about this also, like the next time the Cowboys see action is going to be versus the Raiders. So your starting linebackers are going to be Logan Wilson, and Sanborn went on IR, so it's over. Your starting linebackers are going to be Logan Wilson and Overshown. Now, we're talking about, is that going to be enough for a late Cowboys run? I think it's going to be a start. You still got to cover a little better. And look, the Cowboys, I don't know what the Cowboys moves are going to be like. I don't know what the other trade situation is going to be like. I just know that the Cowboys are eyeing Logan Wilson. I asked people about Logan Wilson. I think it's going to be Logan Wilson. And if the Cowboys don't trade for Logan Wilson, y'all never see this video. You heard? But it is what it is. So, like, what's my level of excitement for Logan? Logan, man, you should be excited about Logan Wilson. You should feel pretty good about Logan Wilson just off the idea that Kenneth Murray ain't going to be on the field no more. I think that's massive. Think about this. Kenneth Murray is like a green dot guy by technicality on the Cowboys defense. So even when Overshown comes back, you would have to prepare yourself. I think that's a great example of what I mean by here. You would have to prepare yourself for the idea that Kenneth Murray and Overshown were going to be the dudes. You know what I'm saying? Just less is more. Less is more is fantastic. Take a look at Logan Wilson right here. Take a look at him right here. Boom, boom, boom. We're reading just fine. But we're gonna get an offensive lineman climbing to us to cause a little bit of interference. Now, what we could do, boom, 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 is jump our ass way out of the gap, like Shamar James be doing sometimes. But Shamar James is a rookie. I expect him to do goofy stuff. Kenneth Murray way too old to be doing some of the stuff that he's doing, right? But Logan Wilson, he's not going to jump all the way out the way. If anything, take a look at his feet. His feet aren't going to move all that much. We're going to see him boom, and he is going to avoid this block, but his feet aren't moving that much. So he's in the same position. He's just kind of getting around the leverage. So now what we have in this play, or at least in this player, we have a guy that's not so uncomfortable or unfamiliar or so afraid of blocks that he's like running to Pam Oliver on the sideline trying to get rid of him, right? He's going to plant his feet, boom, go down, under, and then dip back around, fam, and then go and make the tackle there. I think another thing that's worth noting, something that the Bengals are on right now, but it may not necessarily apply in Cowboy land, because, like, let's just be clear, like, both of us are terrible. Cowboys and Bengals are equally ass a piece, you know what I'm saying? But the Cowboys do technically, I'm about to say they have a better interior. I'm a chill, but the Cowboys got Kenny Clark, right? The Cowboys have Kenny Clark, and there are some situations where Kenny Clark does get like double team, Osa gets double team, and there's some movement. But I think for the most part, Kenny kind of cleans up down bottom pretty well, or at least well enough. He's not horrible down there, and the linebackers are run free. It's me saying bad things about Kenneth Murray again, but it is what it is. Even and Shamar James for that matter. When the linebackers get to run free in this system, it ain't always cute. I think it'll be a great thing for Logan Wilson and this defense to have Logan Wilson running free. Logan Wilson didn't run free all the time, right? There's him in coverage, getting his hands on somebody, pass him along. We wouldn't touch anybody in coverage. Like, hold on, just let me give him just right here. The idea of this right here, touch somebody and passing them along, that's been kind of foreign to the Cowboys lately. But it is what it is. But just the idea that you would want to have Logan Wilson running free. I think that's when he's at his best, when he gets to run free. And boy, he just don't get to do that a whole bunch against the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, let me answer this one more question, and then I'm going to let y'all go have y'all breakfast or y'all lunch whenever y'all watching this or whatever, right? There's going to be some people like, well, but Voch, why should we be excited about Logan Wilson? The Bengals traded him. They didn't want him. They traded him for a reason. Voch, why should we be excited about Logan Wilson? Well, Logan Wilson's gonna be a starter anywhere he go, but Logan Wilson wanted to win, and Logan Wilson wanted to be a little bit better. And I think he was kind of, sick of Cincinnati and Cincinnati shenanigans or whatever. Now let me tell you, hey brother Logan Wilson, you ain't gonna do a whole bunch of winning over here, and you're not gonna be shenanigans free necessarily with the Dallas Cowboys. But he did demand this trade early in the season. And I think Cincinnati knew that they were gonna move him, and with the idea of them knowing that they were gonna move him, they just sat him down to get ready to move on to the youth, right? Another example, I just want y'all to take a look at him. He's engaging a block right here. Boom, but after the engagement, take a look at the feet. He's not getting so out of his posture here, right? Feet kind of stand where they are, just gonna work around, bam, make the play. Some people on the Cowboys ain't doing that. But he demanded a trade. And the Bengals are like, they could have been like, well, we're not going to trade you. Shut up and go play. Instead, the Bengals were like, I bet we just going to sit you down since you got so much to say. So Logan Wilson could start for 32 teams in the National Football League. He could technically do so. Take a look at him stacking up on this block right here. He could start for 32 teams in the National Football League right now. You know what I'm saying? Start twice for the Dallas Cowboys because we so terrible. But with the whole demanding of a trade thing, because Cincinnati's acting kind of goofy sometimes, he just wanted out and they sat him. So they didn't want him because he didn't want him. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounded like word salad, but you know what I'm saying? I wasn't hiding my kid from the word, I was hiding my word from the kid type stuff. You know what I'm talking about? So that's kind of where we at with Logan Wilson. I like the trade, and look, if the trade is some sort of day 3 compensation, I would be befuddled if the Cowboys spent a top 3 pick on him. If the trade is like some day 3 compensation, then fine. You're going to go into the draft and draft some linebacker in the late rounds anyway. So now you can look at that as, okay, we use one of these day 3 picks on a linebacker, and that linebacker gets to play. And I think Logan got 2 more years on his contract, so we're good to go there. All right, love y'all to peace, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Y'all hold down to the next film session because the Cowboys allegedly gonna try to trade for somebody else. So we'll see how that nonsense goes. All right, catch me on crownand.com. Love y'all. Peace.